The Masked Knight of the Desert. Abdal Salim. In a cozy living room filled with the scent of jasmine tea, Grandma Nada sat in her large, velvet armchair. Rawan sat at her feet, looking up with wide, curious eyes. Tonight, Grandma Nada whispered, I will tell you about a girl whose heart was as vast as the desert and whose courage was as bright as the sun. Her name was Khawla. On the nearby sofa, Yousef and Adam leaned in close, forgetting their books and games. Grandma Nada told them of a time long ago, when the sand dunes stretched forever. She described how Khawla grew up with her brother, Dhirar, learning that faith and kindness were the greatest strengths a person could have. Khawla and Dhirar were the best of friends. Under the heat of the golden sun, they practiced their skills together. Dhirar showed her how to ride the swiftest horses, and Khawla, dressed in her modest long tunic and a neatly pinned headscarf, showed him that she was just as fast and just as strong. They promised to always protect one another. But one day, a great shadow fell over their land. A fierce battle broke out, and Dhirar was captured by the enemy. Khawla stood on a high dune, watching as her brother was led away. Her heart ached with sadness, but a new flame of determination began to burn in her eyes. Her headscarf fluttered in the desert wind as she made a silent vow to save him. Khawla knew she couldn't just wait for help. She found a suit of dark armor and wore it over her modest clothing. She wrapped a green shawl over her face and headscarf so no one would recognize her. She looked like a mysterious, powerful knight. With a quiet prayer for strength, she leaped onto her horse and galloped toward the enemy camp. On the battlefield, the soldiers saw a masked warrior appear like a whirlwind. This mysterious knight moved with incredible speed and skill, defending the weak and pushing back the enemy. No one knew who the brave stranger was, but they all felt hope returning to their hearts as the knight's long, modest robes billowed behind the horse. With a final, brave charge, the masked knight reached the place where the prisoners were held. She cut the ropes and freed her brother. When she finally lowered the shawl from her face, her hijab remained perfectly in place. Dhirar gasped in surprise. Khawla, he cried. You came for me. They stood together, a bond of loyalty that no army could break. Khawla's bravery didn't stop there. Throughout her life, she stood up for the oppressed and helped those who could not help themselves. Always dressed in her modest, traditional attire and hijab, she proved that courage is about having the faith to do what is right, even when it is difficult. The youngest grandchild, Hoda, tucked herself under Grandma Nada's arm as the garden lanterns began to flicker. Was she ever scared, Grandma? Hoda asked softly. Grandma Nada hugged her tight. Everyone feels fear, Hoda. But Khawla taught us that true bravery is doing the right thing even when your heart is beating fast. Rawan and Adam looked up through the branches of the garden trees at the twinkling stars. They felt like heroes in their own right. They learned that being like Khawla meant being loyal to family, standing up for friends, and always keeping faith in their hearts. The story of the masked knight would stay with them forever.